Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. As we do every morning at 9 a.m., we're going to be pulling one of my I am cards. These cards are full of positive affirmations, and I have physical decks of these cards available. So if anybody would like to have a physical deck of these cards, let me know. Send me a private message. I will be happy to get you one. Anyways, we are here to say some good stuff about us. The fact is that the world has lots of narratives for us, and they're not always healthy for us. And so the narratives that we are going to put in our own heads are narratives that are empowering. We are going to empower ourselves to really understand who we are. So I want to say thank you so much to Lauren, Frank, Brenda Jean, April, Grant. It is good to see you guys here this morning. Good morning. So yeah, we're going to pull a card. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. And what I'd like for you to do is to say out loud, I am that affirmation. As we say these words out loud, then we are really speaking life into ourselves. So without further ado, let's just say that today I am approachable. I am approachable. My presence invites connection and trust. So I am approachable. My presence invites connection and trust. Are you approachable? You are approachable. Your presence invites connection and trust. So I'm going to write that down in the comments. I'm going to say that I am approachable and my presence invites connection and trust. And here we are. So we are some approachable people. Good morning, Josiah. Good morning, Shauna. It is good to see you guys here today. Thanks so much for joining the wake-up call. It is always a pleasure to see you guys around. Anyways, yeah, so our presence invites connection and trust. For many years, I thought that I was kind of an unapproachable person. In fact, a lot of people told me that I was an unapproachable person, and I didn't really know why. I didn't know how to change that. I wanted, I wanted to have that human connection, and yet I didn't really know how to do it. And the real turning point for me came when I stepped outside my comfort zone. I actually got into sales. And the reason that I got into sales was primarily because I wanted to understand, I wanted to cultivate the skills of quickly making friends with people. And of course, in sales, you have to quickly make friends with people, because if you don't, you don't sell anything. And so I very intentionally started going through some sales training. And one of the things that they teach you in sales training is that it's not your job when you sell something to force your something on the people around you, because that makes them run away. I'm sure that you have run into people who are trying to sell you something that just made you flee the room. I know that I've done that too. And in sales training, they call that like salesman breath, when somebody is truly desperate to make a commission off you. And so I actually picked up a sales job that was not a commission sales job. But it was definitely something where that was one of my metrics. And so so one of the things that I learned was that in order to be approachable, in order to get people to very quickly become friendly with you, it is important to ask questions about them. We are all inherently very self-centered individuals, and that's not an insult. It's just a reality of life. We live in our own bodies. We perceive with our own perceptions. What I'm seeing right now is unique in all the world. What you're seeing right now is unique in all the world. And because we have these unique perceptions and perspectives, we naturally tend to think about ourselves. I know it. I get it. I think about me more than I think about anybody else. And chances are good that you do too. And that's fine. That's just a part of the human condition. And so part of being approachable is being curious about other people. I have a friend who is incredibly good at breaking the ice with other people. And the way that he does it is that he just goes up to somebody and tells a bit of a joke about them. And as he does that, and as he asks questions about them, and that, he basically just, he tells them kind of a joke, and then he asks them how their day is going. And boy, let me tell you, if there's one question that people always know how to answer and always care about answering, it's how their day is going. Because all of us have stresses, and all of us have things that we'd like to get off our chest. All of us have triumphs we'd like to share. All of us have these things going on in our lives. And so I watch this guy operate, and I watch how he can just like turn a stranger into a friend in 10 seconds or less. And I think to myself, I was just watching his technique, and his technique is really just that he opens up with something funny, makes them laugh a little bit, and asks them about themselves. And so he's incredibly approachable. His presence invites connection and trust. And so as I go through my day, and as I go through my life, I do that too. And so I have gone from being somebody who was very lonely and didn't really have too many friends. I mean, for most of my life, I could count the number of friends that I had on one hand. And even then, they were not very strong connections. They were like, we are friends of convenience. We worked together, or we grew up together, or something like that. And when I look at, when I consider these other people that I was friendly with, or that were really more my acquaintances, I recognize that they were just as socially awkward as me. So a lot of people ask me why I live in the community that I live in, and the answer, of course, is to overcome my own crippling social awkwardness. And well, a surprising answer to many, because they think that I'm not. But the fact is that I have insecurities just like everybody else, and I sometimes wonder how people perceive me. And ultimately, the way that I overcome that is by doing the same thing that my friend does, is that I ask people questions about themselves, and then I get to know them. And I genuinely care. I genuinely care about other people. And so as we go through the day, we can just ask other people questions about them. If there's somebody in your life that you would like to get to know better, ask about them. Make a funny and ask about them. And as we do that, we have we have this beautiful, attractive vibration. And so Frank actually brings up a very good point. So Frank says that, let's see, where is it at? There we go. Sometimes a high level of vibration pushes away those who are not at the same level. You're not unapproachable. They are unable to approach you because of your own internal things. It's a valid point that we are all vibrating at different frequencies. All of the universe is vibration. It's a scientific fact. It is something that is well known in the communities that study this stuff. It's that something like this pen, which we think of as being solid, is really just vibrating at a very, very low frequency. So low, in fact, that I can interact with it. So that my physical form can interact with its physical form. And so we all have different internal monologues going on. And to your point, Frank, I actually had an experience where I was talking to somebody, and they absolutely could not stand to be in my presence, because I would say something nice about the world, and they would say something miserable about the world, and I just wouldn't care about their miserable point of view, and I would just turn their miserable point of view into an amazing point of view. And after about 3 times of doing that, they just turned around and walked away. They could not put up with me. And that's fine. I'm perfectly fine being insufferable to folks who have an awful view of reality and would like to continue to persist in that awful view of reality. I'm perfectly fine being insufferable to those folks. And so part of being approachable, and part of having a presence that invites connection and trust, is that our presence invites connection and trust with people who are at least on a similar wavelength to us, which is for our protection as well as theirs. The person who couldn't stand me and who just walked away and just basically ignored me out of existence, that person is not ready for my perspectives, and that's fine. They need to go find people that are more on their wavelength and develop community with those people. It's going to be beneficial for those people all to kind of get together and have their own thoughts and their own processes and be where they are on their journey. Not my job to judge where they're at. Not my job to say, well, your insistence on hating everything about your life is wrong. It's not wrong, and that's right for them, and they can have it, but it's not right for me. And so my presence invites connection and trust with people who are who are on the same wavelength as me, who have the same kind of like mindset as me, who have a growth mindset, who are intentionally looking for the positive in situations. That's who I am, and that's who I intend and are interested in connecting. If I had connected with this other person on our shared misery, then misery loves company, and then I would have wasted some of my precious life being miserable about the things that they hate. And why on earth would I want to do that to them or to myself? Screw that shit. I am way more interested in connecting with people who have a growth mindset, who are on a positive trajectory. And so I am approachable. My presence invites connection and trust. And the way that my presence invites connection and trust is because I am vibrating at a certain frequency, and also that I am genuinely interested in the people around me. And I recognize that the people on this stream are similarly interested in the people around them. Each and every one of you has asked me about my life at one point or another. Each and every one of you has been interested in my projects, has been interested in who I am, has been interested in the wins that I am experiencing in my world. And I'm interested in yours and excited for them and excited for your personal growth because I recognize that it's happening. And as we continue to affirm these good things about us, we are exponentially increasing the speed at which we personally grow. So go us. We are just rocking it at life. And Brenda Jean actually says something really interesting here. She says, I struggle with this. I hear from all the time that you're intimidating. And it's really, as she says, it's about them. It's not that she's intimidating. Brenda Jean, it's not that you're an intimidating person. You don't go around trying to be intimidating. You are just as approachable as anybody else. I know I approached you, and we have a wonderful relationship as a result of that. But rather, it is that they are intimidated. It is that they are intimidated. I remember that there was a time in my life when I was incredibly jealous of people who were more successful than me in ways that I judged success to be. And I own my own bullshit, and it is bullshit. I own my own bullshit. And as I grew past that, as I said, wait a minute, somebody else's success is for me to aspire to. It is not for me to say, well, screw them. They have something that I want and I don't have it. And so now I just hate their guts. No. That's not an appropriate way of doing life. As I've shifted my mindset to say, hey, somebody else has something amazing and beautiful, and I see that they have developed the internal qualities in order to have that thing, and I'm happy for them, all of a sudden they become incredibly approachable to me. And because I'm excited about their wins, I'm excited about their growth. I want what's best for them. And I know that they want what's best for me too. Because anybody who's achieved anything in this life wants you to have that achievement as well if it's something that you want. So I am approachable today. You are approachable. We are approachable people. And as we are approachable, we gather our tribe together. And as we gather our tribe together, we invite connection and trust in between all of the internal members. And by the way, yes, Susan, you are indeed approachable. I know that I've approached you, and I know that you have been interested in me and interested in my projects too. So never for a moment think that you're unapproachable because of who you are. You are absolutely approachable. Anyways, guys, this one is running long. I'm really shocked at where this card went today. So thank you so much for being a part of it. You guys are amazing and beautiful and incredible human beings. So I want to say thank you so much, Lauren and Frank and Brenda Jean and April, Grant, Josiah, Shauna. Let's see who else has popped on here today. I see Lauren, Susan, Brenda Jean. Let's see, and I think that's about it. So I think that's everybody who has popped on the stream today. It is an absolute pleasure. So thank you for all of you for being here, and thank you for everybody who's going to watch this stream in the future. I know that these streams get about 200 views eventually before they fall off of the consciousness of the internet, and how cool it is, and what an honor it is to be able to facilitate such a thing. All right, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. Until then, I love you. I care about you. I think that you're awesome. And I will talk to you at 9 a.m. for tomorrow's wake-up call. Aloha from paradise.